Hey guys, I'm Amit Kumar and welcome to this video in which we are going to talk about arithmetic and relational operators. So arithmetic operators are binary operators, and that means that it performs operation on two operands at a time, where operands are nothing but variables or literals. So they perform arithmetic operations as the name suggests, and the result of arithmetic operator depends on the data types of the operands. Following arithmetic operators are used in Apex: plus, minus, divide, and multiply. And we know how does they operate and what sort of result they give. Here we have shown the example with integers, hence the result will be in form of integers only. Relational operators. Relational operators are also binary operators. They perform comparison operations on the operands. That means the operands being used are compared according to the operator. The result of relational operators are always Boolean. Following relational operators are used in Apex: greater than, less than, greater than or equals to, less than or equals to, equal to, and not equal to. Definitely, as I told, all the relational operators result into Boolean, so it depends on the comparison. If the comparison is right, then definitely it will return true, otherwise it will return false. There are some points to note for addition and subtraction. So if operands are numeric, the result will always be in a higher data type, and that is true when we are using mixed data type. So if you are working with integer and double, the result will always be double. If one operand is integer and the other one is date, then the operator returns a new date, that is incremented or decremented by the specified number of days. We have already seen that in one of our previous videos. If one operand is integer or double and the other one is date time, then the operator returns a new date time, that is incremented or decremented by the specified number of days. When we are using double, the fractional portion corresponds to a portion of a day. And this is also been shown by me in one of the previous videos. Now the next point applies for addition operator only. So if operands are strings, or if any of them is a non-null value, then the operator concatenates the string or string with the value, resulting in string only. So if any one of the operator is string and you are using an addition operator, then the final result will be in form of a string, and that will be the concatenation result of the string with that specific value. Points to note for equal to operation, which is relational operator. So for S objects and S object arrays, equals to performs a deep check of all field values before returning its result. Likewise for collection and built-in Apex objects. If you are using equals to relational operation with arrays, S objects, or a list or a collection, then all the values in the list or collection will be compared. So for records and for any such collection or records, every field must have the same value for equals to evaluate to true. So if any of the field will not match, if any of the collection element will not match, it will result into false. Operands can be null. So if you are using double equals to operator, the operands being used can be null. Apex developers must use double equals to for equality test in the main body of the Apex code, and single equals to for equality check in SOQL and SOSL queries. So we have to use double equals to when we are dealing with Apex code, but if you are dealing with SOQL queries or SOSL queries, then there we will use single equals to for equality check. String comparison using double equals to is case insensitive. So if you are comparing two strings to be same, it won't check for their cases. The characters should be same. ID comparison using double equals to is case sensitive and doesn't distinguish between 15 character and 18 character formats. So definitely if you are checking for ID comparison, the first point you should note that it is case sensitive. So the cases is very crucial. And the second thing is, it will treat the 15 character and 18 character formats to be the same. User defined types are compared by reference, which means that two objects are equal only if they reference the same location in memory. Though we can override its default comparison behavior by providing equals and hash code methods in our class to compare object values instead of reference. So if you are going to check for user defined types with equal to comparison, it will check for the reference, that is the memory location. So if both the objects are referring to the same memory location, then only it will consider them to be same. But if you want it to check for the value rather than the reference, you can do that by overriding equals and hash code method. So you have to provide these methods in your class, and then you can compare object values as well. Points to note for less than equals to, greater than and greater than equals to operator. So if any operand is null and are integers, double, dates or date times, the expression is false. So if you are using integer, double, dates or date times and any of the operand is null, then less than equals to, greater than and greater than equals to will always give false. A non-null string or ID value is always greater than a null value. So if you are using a non-null string or a non-null ID and you are comparing it with a null, so definitely a non-null string, a string without any null or a string containing any value, will always be greater than the null. If operands are IDs, they must reference the same type of object. Otherwise, a runtime error results. So you can compare two IDs with these operators, but the object of both the IDs should be same. You can't check the ID of a contact with an ID of an account with these operators. If one operand is an ID and the other is a string, the string value is validated and treated as an ID. So if you are comparing an ID with a string, the string will be validated to be a valid ID and then it will be treated as an ID for the comparison with the ID operand. Any of the operands can't be Boolean. So if you are using these operators, you can't use a Boolean operand for comparison. The comparison of two strings is case insensitive and we have already discussed that. So it's pretty much of talk and now it's time to see the things practically. So guys, here we are in our org and let's open the developer console for writing the code. So guys, here I have created this first program where I have created two integer variables with values and provided various arithmetic operations to show the result. I have also created one more program where I have created integer variable, double, date and date time, and here I have shown the operation of addition and subtraction with these data types. So let's see their result one by one. Let's see the result of Arithmetic Operators 1 program. So guys, clearly you can see the result of summation, difference, product and division of those two values. Now let's see the result of Arithmetic Operators 2. Before showing you the result, make sure the date is 26th of April 2022 and the date time is 26th April 2022 9:30. Here the double variables are having 25.0, 5.0 and 5.5, where I have shown you an operation with 5.5 as well. So let's see that. So guys, you can clearly see how the result is done when integer is operated with double, result is in double. Same applies for subtraction. Here we operated integer with a date, so it increased the number of days because it was 26th April. So after addition it became 1st of May. Here after subtraction it became 21st of April. Here you can see the date time is 26th April 4:30. Now you might be wondering when I have entered 9:30 why it's printing 4:30. So it depends on the time zone and that's something to be discussed later on. But when we are adding double value, simple 5.0, it is increasing to 1st of May, and when we are adding 5.5, it is increasing to 2nd of May, also increasing 12 hours in the time. So let's see another program with relational operation. So guys, here in the Relational Operators 1 program, I have created two integer values and I have used various relational operations to show the result in Boolean values. So let's see the result over here. So guys, here you can see the first operand is 6, the second operand is 5. For greater than it's true, for less than it's false, for greater than or equals to it's true, for less than or equals to it's false, for not equals to it's true, and for equal to it's false. In Relational Operators 2 program, here I have created 3 integer arrays with name array1, array2 and array3. I have assigned values to them. The array1 is having 10 to 50, the array2 is having 10 to 40, the array3 is having 50 to 10. I have also created 2 string variables with the same content but in different case. Here I have created two ID variables as well, where I will provide the ID, and we can copy the ID from the object. So let's copy that. So here I have copied the account record, and let me make one of them as 15. Let me make one of them as of 15 digit and another one as of 18 digit, and let's save this. Here I have created two objects of custom class. So I have created a sample class for that, and you can see this is the sample class. Now what I have done in this class, I have created two integer variable. Now you can see these variables are not defined in any method. They are defined inside the class, hence they are instance variable. Now why they are not class variable? Because I haven't used any static keyword with them. So they are two instance variable. Here I have created a constructor. Now what is a constructor? What's the role of a constructor? That's something we will discuss later on. But right now just understand, we can call it by using the new keyword like this. So here I am calling a constructor to take a space in memory. Now this constructor accepts two integer value, and it will assign those integer value in these integer variables. So don't worry if you are not understanding this class at all right now. That's not of our case. What we have done here is we have created two objects and we have assigned same values to their instance variables, but they are not same. These objects are not same, as they are occupying two different memory location. So what I am doing over here is creating one more object of the same class, obj3, and assigning any one of them to it, like obj1 to it. And let's compare obj1 with obj3. So the difference is obj1, obj2, obj3, all three of them are having 10 and 20 in their instance variable, but obj1 and obj2 are at two different memory locations, but obj3 and obj1 are referring to the same memory location, because I have shown you when you assign a custom object to another custom object, then their reference is copied, not only their values. So let's see the result. So guys, you can clearly see the result of the operations. Array are not same in any of the case because all the values are not matching. We can compare array with a null, and you can see we are comparing array again with a null, but with this time with not equals to, and hence it is true. We are comparing two string with different cases but with same content, hence it is true. We are comparing two IDs, one with 15 character, one with 18 character, still it is comparing them and it is true. And when we are comparing obj1 and obj2, it is false because they are referring to different memory location, but obj1 and obj3 are true because they are referring to same memory location. In the last program related to relational operators, here we have used integer variable, string variable. So one of the integer variable is null, one of the string variable is null. We are making the comparison over here. As you know, string without null is greater than string with a null. When you are comparing integer with a null, definitely it's going to return false. So let's see the result of this relational operators program. So guys, here you can see integer variable 1, when it is compared with null, it is false, whether it is greater than or less than, or greater than equals to or less than equals to. When you are comparing a string where the first string is holding a value and you are saying that it is less than the second string, that is definitely false because non-null string is greater than a null string. So the last comparison is returning true. So guys, that marks the end of this video. See you soon in the next video. Till then, thank you and take care.